That's her.
Mrs. Hipwood.
Get in.
I understand you want a job doing.
Possibly.
Are we going somewhere?
Great. Just don't like sitting in parked cars. What's this thing I have?
Hang on. We don't want to risk her seeing us, Sarge. She might clam up.
Quicker. Think we're being followed?
No, I just like to keep moving, that's all. So, you got experience at this sort of thing, yeah?
I think that's my business.
I have to be sure you know what you're doing.
Well, I'm sorry I don't carry any references. So what exactly was it you wanted done?
Can Sean explain?
He said something about you want your husband to meet with a fatal accident. Is that right?
Out.
What are you talking about?
Now.
Look, someone's jerking me around here, lady.
It's been a misunderstanding.
Look, I don't like being messed around.
I said I wanted him out of my life, not dead.
I want a divorce and I need a private investigator to collect evidence.
You're joking me.
I don't want to know anything about you. I've never met you. Now get out before I come to you.
Nice touch.
Out!
So, she just wants her husband out of her life.
No way. She rumbled us. She suddenly realised she might be on tape and played the innocent.
Well, if she's lying, she's very good. So that's the husband. So why would she want him dead?
Had her reasons is all I've got.
But how do you rate this snout of yours?
He's not a snout, sir. More of a contact. But the question, as I see it, is why should he make it up?
Alan, you were in the car with her. What do you make of Valerie Hipwood?
It's difficult to say, sir.
Oh, come on. Why did she go through all that cloak and dagger stuff of meeting in the car park if she only wanted a private detective? Why not look in Yellow Pages? And she lost us pretty quick, too. You're not telling me that was coincidence.
Ted.
Well, maybe she changed her mind. She wouldn't be the first person in the world to want her spouse done away with in a fit of pique and then see sense later.
So you just think we're wasting her time? I want to meet this contact of yours.
He might not be too keen on that, sir.
We're talking alleged conspiracy to murder here, so you set it up. Alan, I want you to check out Hipwood's business affairs. See if there's anybody else who'd benefit from his death.
Sir?
Early evening. It's one of the quietest places on our ground.
Try they're only on barges, you'd know why.
Hello, Sean.
Evening.
So, you heard what happened today?
Yeah, I heard something.
The woman in question didn't seem to want the service you told us about.
Your man cocked it up.
So you still maintain she wants her husband murdered?
Oh, yeah. If you've scared her off, I can't help that.
There's no chance it could just be a misunderstanding. There's no chance that all she wanted was her husband out of her life.
Does he know about me and Val?
Some of it.
We had an affair on and off for about 6 months. I know her well enough to know when she's being serious.
Fair enough.
And I'll tell you something else. When someone says they quite like the idea of their husband being drowned, and they want him to be told that she's responsible before his head goes under for the last time, you don't come away thinking she wants a quickie divorce. Do you know what I'm saying?
Is that what she said?
Too right.
Was any mention made of why she wanted her husband dead?
No.
Can you think of a reason?
Why don't you ask her yourself? It doesn't worry me. I've already had an earful.
I might just do that.
Sean, would you leave us for a few moments, please? Sir, there was someone else who drowned recently, 2 or 3 months back. Bob Fish. Death by misadventure.
So who's he?
He used to work for Frank Hipwood.
Check his last moments. The pub where he drank, talk to his mates. And have a chat with his wife.
It was looked into at the time. There was nothing to indicate foul play. It's all in the inquest report.
Yeah, I know it's probably just a coincidence, but have a look anyway. See, I think Valerie Hepwood was serious about having her husband murdered. So I want to know if there's a connection. But more to the point, she may be still thinking about it. Which is why I also want you to have a word with her husband.
You want me to tell Frank Hipwood about this?
You're not with me, are you? See, I think she was serious about having her husband murdered. But we've got no evidence, no motive, nothing. Now, you don't have to mention any names. Just tell him that we think there's somebody after him. Provoke him with that. See how he reacts.
Okay.
Come on, you're not washing your hair. You really do want to get that unemployment scrappy, don't you, eh? Hey? Now do it properly. I don't know. Give them work experience, how do they repay you? A couple of GCSEs, they think they know it all. Next time, do it properly, mastermind. So, what are you trying to do before today, then?
Well, we've got some information we think might interest you, Frank.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We heard someone may be intending and doing you physical harm. In a very serious way.
Nah, it's not possible. Having an enemy in the world, me. Jeff.
All right, bro.
Who is it?
We don't know.
Well, that's handy, then. That's a lot of use,
Well,
isn't
there
it?
might be nothing in it. It might be just a rumor.
Or wishful thinking.
Have you any thoughts on who might want to get to you or why?
Don't waste my time.
We think there might be a connection with Bob Fish.
Bob Fish? He's been dead and buried for 3 months.
We're aware of that.
He was a drunken prat, a nobody, an accident waiting to happen. And as it happens, it was Andy when it did. Saved me the trouble of sacking him and paying him his severance. And what's it got to do with me, anyway? I was out of the country when it happened. And it was an accident. That was what the coroner said, wasn't it?
That's right.
I know what your game is. But some of us have got work to do. Yeah? I want those two finished before you go to lunch. You got that? Thank you, boy.
No reply.
Good. She should be here soon.
Should have been here by now, sir.
You walked back from the pub along that towpath 1,000 times. Never slipped before. I suppose you just had one too many.
Once too often.
Yeah.
You'd have thought with a name like Fish.
He couldn't swim.
You could drink like one, though.
Mum!
Mrs. Fish, how was your husband and himself before the accident? I mean, did he have any pressure on him at all that you knew about?
What are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just asking. How did he get on at work, for instance?
There was a bit of trouble with his job a couple of months before the accident, but Val sorted that out.
Val? Valerie Hipwood? You know her?
Yeah. She's my cousin. She got Bob the job with Frank in the first place.
Oh, I didn't realise.
Oh, yeah. And when it looked as if he might get the sack that time, she persuaded Frank to give him another chance.
And why was Bob getting the sack?
The usual.
His drinking.
He said something out of line when he came back from the pub one lunchtime. Wouldn't tell me what it was, but he was sure he'd get the bullet. So I had a word with Val, asked if she could speak to Frank, and she sorted it. I know a lot of people say Frank's difficult, but he treated us all right. Mum's not a great fan of Frank or his family.
I don't know why Val ever married him. No, that's not true. I know exactly why she married him, and it wasn't for his charm.
Who's a friend?
Never seen him before.
Must be Sean's replacement. She's no slouch. Have you got the photos?
Yeah.
No, it's all right, Alan. It's not a formal interview. I'm just going to have a little chat with her. Excuse me. Mrs. Hipwood.
Yes?
I'm Detective Chief Inspector Meadows from Sun Hill. Think you could spare me a few moments?
What's happened? Is it my husband? Something happened to my husband?
Not as far as I know. Why? You're expecting something?
I suppose you'd better come in.
He was legless. What more can I tell you?
Was he happy, sad?
Same as ever. Probably drivelling on about what a hard nut he was.
He was always going on about how well connected he was with local villains, trying to impress. It's all bull.
After he dropped his second glassful, we told him enough was enough and to go home. That was it. Oh, you Brian? Come here a minute. Brian might be able to tell you. You know that night the fish took his dive in the river? Nothing particularly unusual happened, did it? I mean, he was just a bit more drunk than usual.
Dunno, lover. I wasn't here.
Weren't you?
No, I was away. Holidays, sorry. I'll see you later. I've got to see a man about a dog.
Cheers, Brian. See ya.
If you thought he was a straightforward private detective, don't you think it's odd arranging to meet him in a deserted car park?
Very. So he was one of yours. And there I was, thinking he was some kind of thug. Still, it's difficult to tell the difference these days, isn't it?
So if you did think he was odd, why the car park?
We shouldn't have gone to the trouble of setting up the meeting. I didn't want to question the arrangement. Oh, so it was him who told you about this? Yeah, it must have been. Oh, he is naughty.
This is a serious accusation, Mrs. Hipwood.
It was a joke. It was pillow talk. It's fantasy. You know what that is, don't you, Mr. Meadows?
Oh, so you admit to having talked about murdering your husband?
I said it was a joke.
And I'm saying that maybe that's just a convenient interpretation you choose to give it after the event. Does your husband have anything in the way of life insurance?
I really don't know. You'd have to ask him.
But what you don't seem to understand, Mrs. Hipwood, is that if anything happens to your husband, even if it looks exactly like an accident, it'll be seen as being suspicious. And you'll be top of the list of suspects. A record of the accusation against you will be kept on file.
Seems a bit unreasonable.
Unreasonable?
Well, maybe there's someone else out there who'd like to see Frankie dead. Much though it hurts me to say this, Mr. Meadows, my husband is not the most popular person in the world. If someone else decided to have him, what should I say, put down, it seems rather unfair to try and stick it on me. And quite frankly, you need a bit more evidence than the unsubstantiated testimony of a dodgy informant.
That sounds like a threat.
But then, I suppose that's just the convenient interpretation you choose to give it after the event. Isn't it, Mr. Meadows?
So Morgan is checking his phone now, but this Brian Coombs definitely looked jumpy to me when Fish's name was mentioned. He denied being in the pub the evening of Fish's death, but the barmaid said he was.
So you reckon he was involved in some way?
Well, he could be. The barmaid thinks that she remembers Coombs buying Fish a couple of drinks. Now, she reckons she remembers because Coombs and Fish weren't exactly drinking partners normally, but he said he wasn't there.
Go on.
Now, Bob Fish walks back from the pub along the towpath most evenings. So if anybody wanted to do away with him, that would be the obvious place to do it. Now, it would look more like an accident, the drunker he was, as well as easier to pull it off. What'd you get?
Section 47 and a GBH. And he used to work for Frank Hipwood's brothers in the past.
There's your connection. If the Hipwood brothers did organise Fish's death and Valerie found out about it, she wouldn't have been pleased.
But angry enough to have Frank murdered?
Well, he told her, probably promised her, that he wouldn't even sack Fish, and then he goes and has him killed.
And she's not exactly infatuated, romantically speaking, with Frank, is she, sir?
Alan, did you get anything on Hipwood's business?
Yes, sir.
See, the icing on the cake is that Fish had a reputation for being indiscreet when he'd had a few. The landlord of the orchard said that he was always trying to impress anyone who'd listen to him about the villains he knew.
They reckoned it was all bull, but there was something more specific about a security van job a few months back.
So why didn't the landlord tell us about this earlier?
Well, as he said, no self-respecting blagger would have anything to do with a liability like Fish. It was all rubbish, he reckoned, and still does.
Maybe it is.
But what if, just for once, it was genuine? It might have been enough for someone to have him silenced permanently.
Yeah, but it's all circumstantial supposition. We haven't got enough to go to AMIP or get the open verdict re-investigated. What have we got?
Not a lot, sir. If she was doing them for the money, she'd have been disappointed. What with the recession, that the business had been going down the tubes. And rumour has it that the bank was going to foreclose on them a few months back.
So why didn't they?
Private backer, apparently. Came as a bit of a surprise to his creditors, though. I mean, they thought he was going down the stank. But the backer paid off all the debts, and he's still running his business. Well, just.
Who was the backer?
They didn't say.
And when was this?
It was 4 or 5 months ago.
Security van job.
How much was the loan?
15,000.
You checked the dates?
It was a Barton Street job. A wages snatch on the Milton Abbey trading estates. Find out who they had in the frame for it, Ted.
Okay.
Have you got Coombs' address?
Yeah.
Right, you bring him in. Alan, you go with Joe. And I think we should have another word with our Valerie Hipwood. This time on our ground.
Another holiday, Brian?
One watch, one set of car keys, one brown envelope containing...
Oh, sir, we've got Coombs.
Good.
Only just. He was all packed and ready to go. And he's holding over £2,000 in news notes.
All right, I'll give you a couple of clues. And the answer I want is not, I want it on the horses or the dogs, or in a card game with me mates. All right? So where'd you get that cash?
I don't have to tell you nothing.
Did the Hipwoods pay you to do a little job for them? We know you worked for them in the past. And they must have known you used the same pub as Bob Fish. Is that what happened? Did they suggest you could earn yourself a couple of grand? If you followed him from the pub and made sure he didn't get home one night? Is that what happened? Is that what happened?
Sir? Mrs. Hipwood's here.
Shan't keep you a moment. You know that man?
Should I?
You don't recognise him?
No, I don't. What am I doing here?
If you could come this way, please. Take a seat, Mrs. Hipwood. Do you want a tea or a coffee?
If it's all the same to you, I'd like to get this over with.
OK. Now, you understand that this interview has been tape recorded?
Yes.
I'm Detective Chief Inspector Meadows. Also present is Detective Sergeant Roach. And your name is Valerie Hipwood, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, I must tell you, you're not under arrest. You don't have to say anything, but anything you do say may be given in evidence. You can consult your solicitor, and you can leave this station at any time. Do you understand?
Yes.
So how did you feel when you heard about Bob Fish's death?
I didn't know him that well.
He was your cousin's husband. You got him a job with Frank. And when it looked as though he got drunk once too often during working hours, you squared it with your husband. You saved Bob from getting the sack.
That's a lot of trouble to go to for somebody you didn't know that well.
You have been busy.
Family important to you, are they? All right. Did you think Bob's death was an accident?
The coroner did.
I'm not asking you that. Can you think of anyone who'd want him dead?
You tell me.
We've heard that your cousin's husband could be a bit indiscreet when he'd had a few drinks. Did you hear about that? I mean, did he ever drop any sensitive information when he was drunk?
Well, this is fascinating, Mr. Meadows. Go on.
Well, we've heard he came out with one or two stories about your husband being involved in some very serious criminal activity. Does that ring any bells?
Are you suggesting my husband had Bob Fish murdered?
Well, it'll explain why you wanted your husband drowned. It's like your cousin's old man was drowned. Poetic justice, that sort of thing.
I don't know where you get your ideas from, Mr. Meadows. I really don't.
I think you may have discovered something to incriminate your husband. Something to prove that he was behind Bob's death.
That man outside, is he the bloke you think is responsible?
If you've got any evidence that'll help us convict your husband, you're not compelled to say anything, that's up to you. But if you do, I can guarantee you he'll get his comeuppance.
It's a very interesting idea, Mr. Meadows. But you must realise that a person in my position would be a fool to admit anything. I've heard that you sometimes use hidden tape recorders to get evidence. Is that right?
So you think you could get your husband to incriminate himself on tape?
My husband has one weak spot, Mr. Meadows. Me.
Okay, Joe, go ahead.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knock at the door. Who's there? Lionel Blair. How's that?
It'll do.
Everything all right?
All set. Don't forget, if you can, keep it in front of the window. We'll be watching and listening, just in case. You all right? You sure?
Sarah Oscar from DS Roach, are you receiving?
Receiving, go ahead.
Can you tell DCI Meadows that target is leaving? Over.
Sorry, boys. I'll be all right in a minute. I haven't done this sort of thing before. Oh, I hope I remember my story.
Great.
We're approaching you now.
We're on.
messages. Very nasty, threatening messages. What's he got on you, Frank? What have you been up to? He said you didn't pay the going rate. It's about Bob, isn't it? I don't know what you're talking about. Frank, don't lie to me. Please, just don't lie to me. Okay. I can understand. You might want to protect my feelings. You've been keeping this from me.
How's it going?
She's playing a blind, us.
Here, use these.
Cheers.
No, you have. Don't. No. No, what? I'm upset. I've got a husband who doesn't trust me. Tell me. Please. I can't. Frank. Please. It doesn't go beyond these walls. What do you take me for? Understand? If it was just down to me, I wouldn't have done it. But my brothers found out that idiot was blabbing his mouth off about the security van job. It's all right. I understand. So you had him murdered? Yeah. We had him murdered. And this Brian Coombs, he's the bloke who was responsible for Bob's dive in the river? Yeah. How much did you pay him, Frank? I don't want to talk about it. How much was it? Oh, Frank. Poor Frank.
She's giving him a cuddle. I don't believe it.
Is that someone at the door?
That's our cue, Gov.
Well, with wives like that, who needs enemies?
They deserve each other. I'm Detective Chief Inspector Meadows from Sunhill. I'm arresting you for the murder of Bob Fish. You don't have to say anything, but anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand? Do you understand?
No, I don't.
Have you ever considered marriage guidance?
Morgan?